world as regards human rights. We would like to state one recommendation. OHCHR and other international human rights mechanisms need to attain a higher level of work on generalized issues and more actively use cooperation with states as the main method of work. In other words, not only criticize human rights violations in individual countries, but identify the more serious failings which are typical for many states, and propose ways to overcome these on the basis of cooperation with the governments, together with the human rights mechanisms of the United Nations. We should be looking at dissemination of the best practice, training national officials, cooperation in developing human rights institutions and providing technical assistance. There is need for this both in developing and developed countries in which not all is well with human rights. NGOs need to be actively involved in this practical activity. There could be donor funds found for this, and this approach could provide for effective promotion of human rights in the world. We share the serious concern of the High Commissioner as regards the human rights and humanitarian situation in Syria, and we agree with N.Pillai that there is no military solution to the Syrian crisis. The solution can only be found through beginning negotiations within Geneva II. We call the partners to focus on attaining this goal. We strongly condemn the use in Syria of chemical weapons, in particular the identification by the Russian experts of a chemical attack carried out by illegal armed groups in Hal al-Assal on 19th March. We take the view that the provocation with the use of toxic agents in a suburb of Damascus on 21st August requires careful investigation by the United Nations experts and a report to the Security Council. Unfortunately, there continue to be alarming signals on possible rapid external military intervention in the Syrian conflict without sanction by the Security Council. A strike on Syria would profoundly contradict international law and be an act of aggression. We fully share the view of the High Commissioner that such a scenario risks new loss of life and a rise in regional tensions. Aggression is good only for the terrorists who deliberately destroy peaceful Syrians and particularly ethnic representatives of ethnic and religious minorities. And then human rights can be forgotten in Syria for a long time. Strengthening work in Egypt with HCR is an excellent thing, and we take the view that the counter-terrorism measures will make it possible to restabilize this country. Continuing the democratic renewal for all Egyptians must be promoted through broad political dialogue, and we hope for consistent implementation of the roadmap developed by the government to that end. Finally, we welcome the undoubtedly significant progress in Sri Lanka in upholding socio-economic, political and civil rights of the population. The fact that for 4 years that country has not heard explosions and there have not been deaths to civilians is the most convincing proof that the domestic policy of the government meets the needs of all of the people of the country, and we wish Sri Lanka success in building a harmonious democratic society. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. Now